Give me one so-so moderate failure or setback, and maybe let's take a look at Tribe.
Sure. So I would consider Tribe a failure from an investor standpoint. So lessons learned from Tribe. Number one, especially if you're going after consumer internet, you got to pick the macro and then test continuously until you get to metrics that work. And my biggest lesson from Tribe, well, two lessons. One was we didn't test enough to get to virality. And the problem we had with Tribe was the lack of virality was masked by a huge word of mouth. And so our traffic did grow, but it grew in a straight line, not asymptotic. It didn't grow exponentially. It grew straight line. And so what happens is it's straight line like this, and then it tapers off, at least the growth rate. And so it can fool you for a while.
So you were thinking that at some point you would hit that inflection and it would...
Yeah, but you can... The one problem you have, early success can mask a lot of flaws in your strategy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's an embarrassment of riches. And early on in social networking, anything could get a lot of users. And I think we mistook great community for great social virality. And we didn't have social virality. So people weren't connecting with their real friends. They were coming online to find a new community. And the biggest lesson in social networking is that there's this unbelievable opportunity to let people network with their real friends and worlds. And that is much more powerful than letting them network with people they don't know at all.
That is so interesting. That's more like a dating site.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's the retention of users on a dating site?
Which I guess Facebook, as soon as it was about enabling you to connect with your past, with your old friends, that's when it became even...
Well,
that helped.
The thread on Facebook that they never veered away from is they were successfally with letting you connect with your real friends and your real network. And
Tribe, you weren't.
And Tribe, we took down all the membranes and we just really let anybody network with anybody, because we saw ourselves as more of an open-ended classifieds, kind of local classified site that happened to have community as a traffic driver. So I didn't, and the big lesson is we didn't fail fast.
Let it keep going.
Yeah, and it was masked by a lot of traffic growth and success on that metric. And we didn't test the conversion of traffic to the classifieds opportunity because we kept thinking we needed a big local critical mass before that would happen. But we didn't have clarity around when you decide whether you've been successful or not. And so we just kept going on and on for a long time.
Okay. Two things that you've done now with Zynga as you look back at Tribe, because that was a social network, this is social. What are the two things that you've done that you learned from Tribe that you brought over to Zynga that's been critical to creating virality?
Sure. So number one is we're much more metric driven than I was at Tribe. So, and we go into our micro metrics. You know, we do tons of A/B testing, and we're very clear about all of our leading indicators. And we, as a company, are much more disciplined about failing fast on many fronts. So we try and build new game approaches all the time, and sometimes with substantial investments, but we kill them because they don't meet our success metrics. So I think that's a big lesson. The other one I did differently here is I treated both as a project, but I got to a point that the business model clearly worked before I went all in.
Right.
And on Tribe, I didn't. Tribe was more like the wild and woolly, like first version of consumer internet of build it and they will come. If they will come, they will monetize.
Well, you were early, 2003. Everybody was still trying to figure it out. But I think you just, like you said, don't hold on to it. And maybe almost like relationships, when it works, it's actually easy.
Right. Because we've both learned.
Mark, thank you so much. It's such very useful information as an entrepreneur myself. Thanks for sharing your insights.
Sure.
I've been speaking with Mark Pincus. He's the CEO and founder of Zynga. I'm Bambi Francisco.